I'm actually here to give you, believe it or not, good news. Good news coming from me. Can you believe it? Good news. Hey! That was weird. I don't know if you just heard that. My belly just went. It was almost like it was growling and cheering at the same time. I don't know if you heard it. I hope I picked it up because it was kind of cool. Hey guys, I'm going to start out by apologizing. Let me just say that this is the third time I've tried to video this today. It's now like almost 6 o'clock, and I started to video this, record this, whatever, at around 10:30, and every single time I go to video, there's absolutely no noise. The people upstairs are quiet, not hearing a word from them. Every time I get it all set up, as soon as I hit record, they start doing something. The first time they were upstairs and they started to bang, like I guess hammer something in. That was around 10:30. So I was like, okay, well, I'll wait till a little later. The second time was around, I don't know what time, in the afternoon sometime. They start, like, there's literally no noise. And then all of a sudden start banging on the ground, like do, just banging. Someone was up there just banging. They normally don't do this. It went on for like 30 minutes straight. I gave up. Now it is, like I said, almost 6 o'clock. The guy goes and takes his kid for a walk. So I'm like, perfect timing. Usually they're out for a half hour. As soon as I go to video, they come back and they start making noise. Oh well, that's life. And we're just going to have to put up with it because that's life. Anyway, hope everyone's doing okay with this coronavirus. I think that's probably how most of these videos are starting out there on the YouTube and everything. So praying for everyone, get that out of the way. Just hoping this all goes away soon. I am having a good day. I've been having a lot of problems with pain. Let me just start out by saying that. And when the pain gets worse, comes more medication. When more medication comes, means more tiredness and more like lethargic. So when I don't have my kids, I take advantage of those days and I like sleep and I take more meds so that I don't have a few days without pain. It's not easy to wait till those days. Not that I don't take medicine on the other days. I just don't take any of my breakthrough medicine, or as much. I wait till I'm going to sleep because I don't want to be out of it for my kids. So that's been a little hard. The pain is different. Before, when I first came home, it was the pain from my cancer all along here, but I've kind of pinpointed it was more pain from my surgery. And now that has been resolved basically, and the pain is gone for that, now it's a different kind of pain. It's more like the cancer deep bone pain. So it's not like it is definitely, I guess I should say, better, but it's just not, I can't really say that it's better. It's just different. It's a more deep pain, and when it hits, it's like really hard. So like I'll wake up and I'll be in a lot of pain and I have to wait till the meds kick in. And otherwise I'm in excruciating pain. So like I have to make sure I am exactly on time with my meds, and sometimes even take a breakthrough before to cut that in between point. But I'm actually here to give you, believe it or not, good news. Good news coming from me. Can you believe it? Good news. Hey! That was weird. I don't know if you just heard that. My belly just went. It was almost like it was growling and cheering at the same time. I don't know if you heard it. I hope I picked it up because it was kind of cool. So, as you all know, I am in hospice. Those of you who don't know, I'm in hospice right now. And when I the reason why I went into hospice just really quickly is because I had to have a surgery, and I was really, where I had the surgery, I had my implants removed, and it was really infected, and it's still really open, and they said I could not do chemo with infections, and I had 2 major infections, and they didn't think they were going to go ever away, and they just basically said, go on, the only thing you could do, because you can't do chemo, I've already had all my radiation, so just go to hospice and have them help you heal it. And I said I would only agree to that if they agree to allowing me to see a surgeon every once in a while to have it looked at, and if it is getting better and the infection goes away, then I can go back to the chemo that I had actually started and done a whole, well, years ago I did a whole round of this and it didn't work, but then there's like kind of a sister drug, which I did the initial treatment with the initial schedule, which was really taxing. It was like once every week for 3 weeks and 1 week off. And a lot of people don't start out with that because it's really, really strong. They start out with once every 3 weeks. So that's what I had just started. I had only done 1 dose of that when I got this infection and had to have the surgery. So my thing is if this infection goes away, then I want to go back to that chemo and continue to finish, or at least finish that round out. And the doctors on all of my notes said they didn't ever see that happening because of the infection being so bad, and my skin condition was really, I had a lot of surgeries and things, and so they really just thought that I'd have this infection for the rest of my life and always be on antibiotics and fighting it, and it wouldn't be more than 6 months. And that was back in February. So I was getting worse. I wasn't doing good. But then they were able to get me on the right kind of pain regimen, and the proper, like, nothing for some reason was sticking to my skin, and so like all of the bandages weren't staying on properly, and I wasn't treating it properly. But with the help of the hospice nurses, they got me on right medicine. They got me on the right bandages that weren't causing infections, extra infections, and they put me on some, or at least my main, I don't know, the top nurse, she put me on this oral kind of antibiotic that I stick on it. It's kind of like a lotion. And not only did that do wonders with the actual infection, making it go away, and some of the pain, it actually helped with that horrible wrenching smell. I mean, literally within 2 days, that smell was gone. And I was so excited because I had been fighting that stupid smell for so long. So that was a major, all of that got under control. However, we have this whole pandemic that actually kept me from seeing my surgeon for almost a month and a half. I was supposed to see it 2 weeks after I got out of the hospital to have stitches removed. That ended up being postponed because I had a problem with my tire on my car. The next one was like 3 weeks later, and that's when the coronavirus hit. So every time I tried to reschedule, my nurses tried to reschedule for me, and he said he promised he would call me, and he never did, and it took forever. But finally I did a video thingy with him. It's funny because he kind of, as soon as he gets on, it looks like he was in somewhere in California. And he said, I'm sorry, I'm not really in California. I just don't know how to change the background, which was kind of funny because I'm sure he's not the only one. But anyway, he saw it, and I'd explained, that I hadn't been on any antibiotics since like 2 weeks before. And I thought it was getting worse, but recently, once we got all this other stuff, the right things put on, and the right topical antibiotic, is it an antibiotic? I think that's what it was. That all of that was like so much better in like a few days. And he saw it and he's like, wow, I'm impressed. It really looks good. I'm surprised. He goes, I really didn't think you'd ever get to this point. And then I kind of said, well, do you remember when I first started hospice? Why, like what my regimen, what I said would have to happen if I wasn't, like what I said. Hear this? They're out there screaming. They weren't screaming all day. And just now they decide to scream. You hear it out there? Sorry. Now they're crying. Oh, we'll see if I can cut this out. I'm not sure. Anyway, I reminded him why, like, what my, I don't know what you would call it, what my stipulations were for starting chemo. Not chemo, I'm sorry. Stipulations were to start hospice. And he remembered. I said, well, now I'm not on antibiotic. What do you think about me going back to chemo? And he said, well, it's obvious. I have a lot of tumors that, first of all, let me just say, even though the infection is gone, I still have my 3 holes, so it has not completely healed. And he said he does not see that ever really healing. Then again, he didn't think I'd ever get off antibiotics, and I am. So anyway, anything's possible with God. So around those 3 holes, the tumors that he initially removed, I have had a whole bunch of nodules and a few bigger ones before the surgery. And with the surgery, he actually removed those. Unfortunately, they've all come back and like more. So there's like 12, and they're very painful, along with a lot of tumors in my lymph nodes and that go down my right arm. But he said, I explained how the pain is and how it's getting worse. It's really deep pain. It's obviously from my tumors in my chest. And he said, if your doctor my oncologist is okay with letting me do chemo now that the infection's gone and I'm off of antibiotics. However, I'm still healing. I still have the wound. Especially because of the fact that I have tumors that are causing pain. He wants to do anything he can do. He's going to suggest that I do anything that will cause the pain to go away. And he's like, these are obviously tumors that are causing pain. So I am definitely going to back you up on seeing if Dr. Riley would be okay with you going back to that chemo and going back on that regimen. I've never been so happy to be able to do chemo again. I see all these signs of little kids and people with birthdays standing on the side of the road, my birthday, and I saw one with a little girl. I just ended radiation today, and then another one that said chemo, my last day today. I'm like, maybe you should stand out there with a sign that says, I get to start chemo. People would be a bit confused. Actually, maybe not, because so many people aren't able to do their treatments now. They might just assume that now I get to, but I'm so happy. That was Friday. I talked to my hospice nurse, and she's all of my hospice team is backing me up on this. So what that means is that I have to come off of hospice to go on to chemo, which I've used a lot of the services already that they can provide, and I can still, what my hospice nurse said is, as soon as you find out, tell me so that we can order as many of your medications and supplies and stuff before you stop hospice, because they do provide me with like my medications, all of my stuff to treat my bandage, oxygen if I need it. There's all this stuff that I get that I don't have to worry about the cost, and I don't even have to worry about ordering because they just take care of it. They come, I have someone here almost every other day, and they ask me if I need anything and kind of go through all my stuff. So I do have the logistics of having to figure out how I'm going to pay for that now, but that's not going to stop me from living again and trying chemo again. And I do have to still talked to Dr. Riley. Like I said, I talked to my hospice team on, today is Tuesday. I talked to them on, or her on Friday. I talked to someone from my oncologist office, and she promised me that she would get my message into my oncologist hand and make sure that he follows through today. So, although it's kind of late and I still haven't heard from him, but he probably holds off all of those conversations and phone calls and messages till after work, and that might be anytime soon. So pray that he is on board, which honestly, I've been with him for the past, since 2010, and he's never steered me wrong, and he has always backed my decision up. Whatever I wanted, he always backed up, and he always said he would, and he knows that I always said I'm fighting till the end. So I don't see him saying no, but I don't know. And so what I'll do is I'll go back, if I do, I'll go back onto the chemo that I had started and probably finish out that round. And if I'm not mistaken, on the video that I went through all of my old chemos that I was on, radiations and all treatments, and which ones he had mentioned, like a whole bunch at that point. This is a few months ago. I think there was one more regimen that he didn't try, but he wanted to do this one first. So maybe if this one doesn't work, maybe there's another one. I'm not sure. I know that there are no, or at least I've heard that they're not doing any trials right now during this whole pandemic. So if there are, or if there were trials out there, clinical trials before the pandemic, we'd have to wait till after to even look into them. But just pray that I get the good news from, well, the all okay from my oncologist, and that I'm able to work out the logistics of getting my supplies and medications, which I know I'm going to get my medications still paid through what they were before. It's actually just like, there's a lot of money that goes into treating this bandage right here. I'm not sure if you can see it. This thing right here. They're the things that go over top of when you go in the hospital and you have an IV. It goes over top of that, and then I have like all these other things that I have to buy to clean it, and I have to clean it like 3 times a day. So I don't want to get not have that stuff, because that's what's keeping me from having an infection, and that's what I need. I need to not have the infection to be able to do the chemo. And of course, you know, there is obviously the overall pressing issue of I will have a low immune system during the coronavirus pandemic. I believe that maybe God kept me in hospice, or put me in hospice during the worst part of it, while they were trying to figure out everything, keep me safe and get me on the right track. And now that I know what I'm doing and have the right things, and more information is known about the coronavirus, hopefully I can still stay safe with a lower immune system during this. The thing is that so many people are like, well, you're going to end up being a lot in worse shape. Like people say, go on hospice so you have a better quality of life. With the pandemic, I haven't been able to have a quality of life. I've been home doing nothing and just seeing my tumors grow bigger, not doing anything about them, getting tireder and sicker, and not having the added benefit of having my family and people around, because what you normally would get with being on hospice. And seeing the tumors, I'm not doing anything. And at least if I was doing chemo, I'm actively doing something. Yes, I may not feel that good, and I have a lot of issues that I have to, hurdles that I have to attack with my immune system and all of that. But at least I'm trying to fight it. And I told my kids I was going to fight it to the end, and I'm not stopping now. Now that I have the okay with no infection, I'm going to just keep going. I know there's a possibility it may not even work. I know I may get sicker, but I'm trying, and I am putting it all in God's hands and asking for prayers. Obviously, I always ask for prayers, but extra prayers as this might be more of a challenge than chemo before. So anyway, like I said, this is great news. I hope you all have some good news out there coming your way too. I know my sister just got good news too, so yay. So you all stay safe and stay home. Wash your hands. Use hand sanitizer. Wear your masks. Do what you can. Don't jump on the bandwagon of we're out of the worst, so I can go and do whatever I want. There's still a lot of people fighting, and a lot of people taking care of those people fighting, and they're really struggling right now. So keep them in prayers and just keep doing what you need to do. All right, have a nice day. Bye, guys. Oh, by the way, when I find out more information, when I hear from my doctor, I promise I won't take forever to update you guys with the news, because I'm so excited. I'll probably put it right on and go. To be honest, I know this is weird, but for like 5 days, past 5 days, I was so out of it that I was actually working on the videos, thinking I never put those last 2 videos up, redoing them. And then all of a sudden I'm like, wait a minute, these seem way too familiar. And then I looked at my actual website and I realized I had already posted them. I don't think I was actually finished with them either. So I don't know when I posted them. I think I meant to post them and then like fix them and not put them, like post them for everybody to see and wait. But I somehow did. So you got to see something, probably not completely edited. So I'm sorry about that. But for the past 5 days, I seriously didn't realize I had already finished and posted those 2 videos. I know that's strange. So that's why this one took a little longer. But I promise when I get the news from my doctor, I will not take so long. Unless if something major happens. All right? You guys have a nice day. God bless. Bye. There goes my stomach. I just wanted to say goodbye. See ya. So I am just about finished my video. It is almost time for bed, and I am actually making myself a potato when I realized that I didn't put a very important subject in this video. I never updated you anything about my nutritional status, and that was one thing that my doctors wanted me to work hard on, trying to get better. And obviously with my history, those of you who don't know, I have a history of an eating disorder, so that, of course, slipped my mind. How convenient. But I do want to give an update. I am trying really hard to make sure that I eat healthy. Honestly, it's much easier when the kids are here because I'm already making food for them, and you know, I just eat whatever I prepare for my kids. But when I am here by myself, it is definitely a lot harder, especially on the days when I am feeling a lot of pain and I end up sleeping a lot. What I find I have to do is just set an alarm to get up and make an actual effort to eat something. And it's not necessarily just eat something. I need to eat nutritious stuff, not like, you know, just cereal or something quick. And that's what's hard, is when I'm not feeling good or when I'm really tired, actually sitting down and preparing stuff. So I do a lot of like yogurts and eggs, but I try to make sure I get all of the nutrition in. So like I don't look at like fats or anything like that. I look at like protein and starches and, you know, carbohydrates, stuff like that, concrete things to make sure that I get a full round of my nutrition. So if there's anything that you can pray for, obviously help me pray that this comes easier to me, or I find some way of pre-preparing it. I do eat the leftovers that I have from the week with my kids, and for Christmas this year I got my lovely, here's the box still, Instapot, and I'm not showing you the box because it's not out of the box, because trust me, I use it. It is my favorite thing. My favorite thing before I got that was my crock pot. Before I got my Instapot, I was always using a my, what is it called? Crock pot or slow cooker, whatever you want to call that. And I started watching a wonderful, lovely couple, Mary and Peter Fry from the Fry Life. And for about, I guess, 2 or 3 years, she's been using an Instapot, and I've been like amazed with it and asked for it for Christmas and my birthday, and I finally got it this year. So if you want to get something awesome, it's like a crock pot on steroids. So whatever you would cook in a crock pot that would take you all day would take you 2, maybe 3 hours at the max, maybe 1 to make in an Instapot. But that is also something that I got to learn how to use for just one person. So if you have any good recipes, please send them my way. And I do like soups and stuff like that. So that's something very easy in an Instapot. So anyway, my microwave just buzzed with my potato in it. So I need to go eat my last bit of nutrition for tonight before I go to bed. So please just keep my nutritional status in mind. I don't weigh myself. I don't even have a scale. So I leave that up to my doctors. But to be honest, my nurses for hospice haven't weighed me. They've just been, I guess, measuring. And I don't ask. I don't even look when they do that. So I think I've gained some weight. I don't know. So you can't tell by the way I am holding this arm up, because that's my lymphedema arm. But, oh, and by the way, my lymphedema seems to be getting a little bit better in the past few days. It's like everything in the air for me right now is on the right way, and I'm praying tomorrow it continues. So anyway, you have any good ideas for me, suggestions, recipes, send them my way. All right? You guys have a nice day. Again. Bye.